In this lesson, we'll discuss what prototyping is, how it's used within an application development strategy, and its benefits. Prototyping is arguably one of the most underused and undervalued application development strategies in businesses today. Demands from the business continue to grow and expand, and the traditional application development process just isn't cutting it anymore. This process usually consists of endless meetings between the stakeholders, including development, business users, and management, and these meetings result in confusing requirements documents and inefficient development practices, such as code something, then verify, then test, and then change it, making most, if not all, of the development resources' time wasted. Let's take a look at an example of a traditional approach of how teams come together and communicate their needs. The business may want an application that's robust, that contains a ton of different features, and can carry the load of multiple business practices, so this is the dream of what they come to the table with. Management is typically involved in this process, and they are constrained by things like budgets, so they may be only able to afford something smaller, simpler, and practical. These demands are recorded in a requirements document mentioned earlier. This document then gets handed to the developers to interpret, which might result in something completely different than any of them had imagined, forcing the teams to work in endless cycles to get to a final product. The time and energy wasted throughout this process is extraordinary. The team would be able to save time and energy throughout this process if they just used a prototype as the foundation of their application. So then what is prototyping exactly? As defined, it's a systematic approach to application development that consists of creating a working makeup or model of the production-ready application. Now, there are two types of prototypes, low fidelity and high fidelity. A low fidelity prototype is a hand-drawn mock-up of an application. It's meant to actively portray the navigational, data, and user interaction principles of the application without actually giving you the end experience. A high-fidelity prototype is an interactive simulation of the actual production-ready application, containing all of the application's features, navigations, and user experience elements. A few key benefits are learning to fail often and early. This separates the impractical ideas and the expensive ideas and the like early on in the process. A failure in a prototype is actually a good thing and helps the teams come to a quicker resolution while keeping the effort low. It provides a common foundation for teamwork. A prototype acts as the canvas that each team can use to paint. Ultimately, this aids in conflict resolution and builds trust within the teams. In summary, during this course, you will learn how the SAP Build tool enables teams to create working prototypes of applications.